Welcome to You Are Not Alone. I am spiritual medium Erica Gabriel. This show is intended to bring expansion, understanding, and growth on our spiritual paths and journeys. This is a safe place to explore all things spiritual and beyond. Please remember, I am not a licensed therapist or medical doctor. Seek immediate professional help if you need mental health or physical health support. Hello, friends. Welcome. Welcome to You Are Not Alone. How are you guys? Hello, spiritual seekers. Oh my gosh. Hello, friends, kind, loving people. You guys are amazing. Like, I really mean that. It's so cool when I meet you guys, like at a reading, you know, like the screen will come on and I'll be like, hello, where are you from? And how did you find me? And a lot of people say the podcast. And it's so cool because here I sit. I mean, I'm going to work on getting these videos to you guys, but here I sit in a sweatshirt in my office with, you know, a microphone and a computer talking. And it's really, really cool to hear that people are receiving these messages and listening, because that's why I do it. So when you guys are like, hey, I listened to your podcast and this was cool or whatever, you know, this made me think, it is so worth it to me. Oh my God, why else would I do it? So it's really awesome. And thank you for joining me and listening and tuning in and being so awesome and being so cool. And, you know, letting this be a part of your path and a part of your journey. Really. So I went on spring break. That's why I haven't had a new podcast in a little while. I went on spring break and I went to Florida with friends, you know, full families and friends. So my kids had friends and I had friends and my husband had friends. It was so good. It was so good. And, you know, whenever I go on vacation, I'm like, this is great. This is a great time for me to refocus and to take long walks and think about what I'm doing next and think about what would serve people next. And, you know, and then I get on vacation. I'm like, nope, not doing any of that. I am just going to sit here and just talk shit with my friends and have a mimosa. I mean, that's really what happens. And then I'm like, oh, right. It's okay just to completely vacate. You know what I mean? So it was really fun. And my kids had an absolute ball. And it was interesting. I was walking with one of my friends who recently had a death in the family. And it was really making him just think about death, basically. And what is all this? You know, what is all this? And I was like, welcome to my mind. Welcome to every thought that consumes every moment of my life. And, you know, here's the deal is we really don't know the meaning of life. We really don't. And anyone that tells you this is the meaning of life, period, avoid, because nobody knows. And I have talked a lot about part of the meaning of life is finding your way, shining your light, learning, evolving your soul. But that's not the only meaning of life. There's many layers. You're your own spiritual dynamic being on your own special mission. There are so many meanings of life. There are so many different thought processes and realities and so much. We have to find it for ourselves in a lot of ways. So we were talking a lot about that. And, you know, how wild it is that when you die, that's it. Here, everything you've built, all the work you've done, whatever money you have in your savings, wherever the relationships are that you've built, like you're just gone from here. You're not gone in spirit and you're not gone in connection. But I mean, that part of their incarnation is just, it's done. And my friend was like, God, what is it all for? And here we are working. And what is this? And, you know, I said to him, I can't answer all that, but what I can say is it's really sunny out today and all our kids are running around happy, healthy, thank God. We're all happy, healthy, thank God. Beautiful day, beautiful food, friends. If we can't enjoy today, then we're really fucked. You know what I mean? Then we're really missing it. Sometimes you just have to be in the moment. That's something I'm working on, by the way. But just be in the moment and go, yeah, I don't know, but I know this moment. I know this. This feels good. Right. And it doesn't have to be on a vacation, right? It can be, I mean, sometimes when I get into bed at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, do you guys do that too? Just take to your bed. You're like, I'm done with today. I'm taking to my bed, like an old dramatic movie, a black and white movie. But I'll get into bed and just like, and just feel the pillow on my head and just like, yeah, I'm just going to be here now. This feels good. Right. So I think those moments are really, really key. And the issue arises when we cannot do that. We cannot give ourselves a moment, not a moment. And we're too stressed and we're too anxious and we're too upset. So we can't even give ourselves that moment. I hear it every single day. I sit down to take a deep breath and my mind is racing. I sit down to do, stretching and my mind is racing. I sit down to whatever it may be and my mind is racing. My to-do list is racing. I cannot do that. And first of all, I wouldn't say cannot. And second of all, I wouldn't add any type of moments like these, moments of just alignment or meditation or peace. I wouldn't add them to any to-do list because we have enough on our to-do list, right? The idea is setting an intention to find ways to create moments of peace or calm within ourselves. Okay, why would we do this? Let me backtrack a little bit. We are inundated with scary shit 24/7. Really. I wake up in the morning. I've always looked at the news. I know a lot of like new age or self-help or spiritual people say don't watch the news. It's terrible. I get it. It's just been a thing for me my whole life. I just have always watched current events and news. I started in 5th grade. I was like young for my grade. I don't know, 10, maybe 9. I started watching news and reading current events. I always have. I can't say if that's healthy or unhealthy. I just know for me as Erica, I've always been very involved in world events, current events, politics, super interested in it. And when I wake up in the morning and turn on my phone, it's like, in your face, be scared. They're stealing identities. They're killing people. They're shooting. The children are in danger. Your food is killing you. It is fast and it's a constant inundation of really, really scary stuff. Do you guys have that too? I know you do. And it's fast. It's so fucking fast, you guys. Do you know that a lightning bolt struck the Statue of Liberty where she's holding up, the flame? It struck the flame. I posted pictures of it. Google it. Someone took a picture of it in the exact moment it happened. Unbelievable photo. 3 minutes later, it was on the internet. 4 minutes later, it went worldwide. And 15 minutes later, they were making t-shirts about it. You know what I mean? It is so fast. We are inundated so quickly. And when your soul, right? We have a mind, we have a body, we have a spirit. It's all in our human incarnation right now, in our body temple, in our meat suit. When we hear all these things, fear, 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 freak out, be afraid. There's enemies everywhere. There's horrible people. Be scared. Our soul is like, whoa, baby, this place sucks. I feel scared and I am feeling weird in this body because this body is anxious. This body's, adrenaline and everything is firing all the time. I can't quite settle in here. So we kind of start to separate from our souls and our spirits a little bit. We kind of start to split off. And then we get more anxious because we're like, where are we? Are we in the past? Are we in the present? Are we in the future? I can't find myself. I'm freaking out and I'm scared because really scary shit is about to happen. That's what's coming into our face all the time. And so we don't know where our soul is. And then we're like, how do I read my intuition? What do I want to do? What's my purpose? Who am I? Who do I like? And really, we get lost. We're so separated. And yes, we're eating foods that's made in a machine. And yes, we're all inside way more than ever in the history of humanity. We are more separated from our food than the history of humanity. We're more separated from nature than the history of our humanity. We are sitting down looking at screens than in the history of humans. We're more separated from our neighbors, from our families, from our friends. And we're just detaching and detaching from ourselves. This sounds very doom and gloom. It really does. And you guys know me, you know how positive I am. But I am following these threads so that we can start to understand how important it is that we counterbalance this. If you pull threads and pull them to the end, then you start to boomerang back around. So what does this mean and what can I do? And then your guides come in and they start to tell you simple tools and tasks to do to bring yourself back to yourself. And then we go, but I'm too busy for that. I don't want to hear that. I'm too busy. And then your guides are like, okay, good luck, fucker. Have fun. Enjoy. You can go to whatever sunny location you want and you're still going to be freaking out there because you can't get yourself back centered or grounded. So do you, boo-boo, but here's some ideas, right? And I think at that point we go like, oh my God, I'm so busy. That sounds really complicated. I don't know how to meditate. This is all very confusing. I think that is such an illusion. I don't think you have to sit in a corner and say Om for 20 hours a day to recenter yourself. You can start out with 3 minutes a day. You can put an alarm on your iPhone that goes off once an hour. And when that alarm goes off, you close your eyes and take 10 deep breaths. What about that? Oh my God. What if you tried that for 2 weeks? How would you feel? It's about balance and counterbalancing what we are inundated with 24/7. Our immunity is low. Our adrenaline is firing. Our adrenal glands are stressed out. And then so many people are getting sick, guys. Wow. Cancer, diabetes. There's massive amounts of infertility. And I'm sorry if that's a trigger. It's not your fault. Not everyone's infertility is due to this. Please don't take it as such. We have all kinds of physical things that are very, very real that contribute to that. Side note. So listen, I'm not saying this is why. Please don't take it as such. But there are so many things happening. People are getting very, very sick. We can counterbalance this. We are that intuitive. We are that powerful. Nothing can take over you and dominate you. You have to get control. And by control, I mean completely surrendering and having no control over whatsoever, right? Opening ourselves up to our intuitive voice, releasing the need to control everything, every little detail, because we're so scared. We're planning, oh my God, what if this happens? What if that happens? I have to control every little thing or else terrible things are going to happen because the world is telling me horrible things are happening. This is not to say horrible things aren't happening. They are. It's real. I mean, Jewish kids can't get to class. Jewish kids cannot get to class without people blocking their path saying, kill all Jews. Forget the war, just for a moment, People want to kill all Jews. Kids can't get to class because they're Jewish. Horrible things are happening. And that's not the only thing. There are people dying. There are kids dying. I mean, listen, I get it all. I'm using an example of something happening in our country. So yes, bad things are happening. We get it. We're inundated with it. This is about counterbalancing some of that so we can cool the body down. People want to know how to tune into their guides. People want to know how to connect with their loved ones that have crossed over. People want to know how to connect with their own inner voice. You have to counterbalance the chaos. It's the only way. Why do we want to quiet the mind so we can create a little bit of space? One, because then you'll be able to connect and hear messages from your guides. You'll be able to connect with your intuition, and you will be able to connect with yourself. God is not looking down on you from above. God is looking at you from within. Ding, ding, ding. Let's ring that bell. God is with you from within. God is looking at you from within, not from above. The light of God is in you. You are a piece of a collective consciousness that binds us all, humans, called God, being, oneness, universe, whatever you want to call it. It's in you. If you quiet and counterbalance some of the chaos, bring your soul back, take a deep breath, and go in. It's right there. Hello. And when you go there, you can begin to connect with your purpose and with your voice. And then when you connect with that, you start to see, wow, what do I want? What do you want? If you ask yourself that, what do I want? Do you have an answer? Because the grass is greener where you water it. What are you watering? Are you watering chaos? Are you watering fear? Are you watering hate of other people? Are you watering, I don't have time. I don't have time for myself. Myself doesn't matter. Is that what we're watering? What are we watering? So the other thing that has been coming up. How are you guys doing? Are you okay? This is a very intense podcast. Should I put a disclaimer on this? Intensity. We talk about darkness. So basically, I'm turning a page because I did take a couple of notes, but they're, are you ready for this? Chaotic, messy, touche to this whole thing. But something that's coming up as well is more and more people are feeling this way, this uncomfortableness, this fear, this chaos. And boy, they're searching. Let me search. I am searching. I'm going to read every book. I'm going to listen to every guru. I'm going to listen to every, whatever it may be. I'm searching. And then I'm going to get readings, astrological, palm readings, soul readings, medium readings, psychic readings, because I need that smoking gun that's going to make me better. Make me better. And so sometimes people sit down to a 40-minute reading and they're like, my life is in chaos. I need to know all the answers. Make it not in chaos. Go. And it's like, oh, no, that's not going to happen right now. Sorry. No, but amazing. Listen, amazing messages come up in readings that if you can hear them, it will literally fucking change your whole life. So I had a reading with a woman the other day. And, I fall in love with every single person I read for. I've told you guys that before. Literally fall in love with them. Because what I'm channeling is spirit, God, their guides. So what comes through is love. And that comes through me. And then I deliver that to them. I'm like, oh, I love them too. I see them. They're beautiful. They're the best, So she comes on and like right away, she's like you could tell she was like another medium, even though she wanted me to read for her and chose to have a reading. It wasn't like a gift. She's like, oh, what is this chick going to tell me? She like hated me right away. Right. I'm like, it's all good. And there were very clear messages for her. She wanted everything to be different in her life. And there were very clear messages from her guides about completing a couple of cycles. And trying to bypass those completions were making them take longer and making her more unhappy. So they gave her a lot of specific details on how to complete those circles and those cycles. And she was like, yeah, no, basically. She was like, no, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to escape all this and get an answer for that. And it, was challenging. So there is a lot, there is work to be done. And sometimes we don't want to do that. And that's okay. It just means you're in a rut, you're in a pattern, you're in a holding pattern. Or it means you're in a constant fight or flight, or you're in a trauma response, or you're in a victimhood, and you don't think you can move past it. So you're stuck and you're feeling terrible. There is always a way. There is always a way. And a lot of times that way is through you, because you will get to God through you. So instead of focusing on how do I find the answers, give me a smoking gun now, right? Take a couple weeks to let those answers go, which are not going to help you at all, will make you feel worse. Take a few weeks and say, all I'm going to do these few weeks is find tools that help me cool down the chaos. Is it turning off the news? Is it walking barefoot in nature? Is it learning meditation? Is it stretching? Is it breathing? Is it laughing? Just laughing. I don't know. What is it? I would have to read for every single one of you to tell you what it is specifically for you. But let me just take this moment to focus on that when I can, even though I'm the busiest person on the planet, which we all feel, right? Let me just focus on that instead of using all these questions. What's going to happen? Tell me the smoking gun. Instead of focusing on those questions, can you refocus on focusing how to focus and how to quiet down a little bit? Because, oh, baby, once you do that, so much is going to change. It's amazing. When you are watering that grass, oh my gosh, miracles, 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 miracles. It's very, very cool. I hope this is making sense. And, you can listen to this and go, oh, she's just saying prioritize myself. And it's like, well, yeah, kind of. A lot of cliches are right. You know what I mean? There's cliches, right? Be grateful. Live each day to the fullest. Be yourself. Don't worry about what others think of you. Forgive everyone. Shine your light. Like all of these like almost cliches. But when you pull threads on what is the point of this? What is the meaning of life? How do I find my way? You are left with those in a real way, not in I saw this on a sign in Home Goods. You know what I mean? Do you guys have Home Goods where you are? I think everyone does. So there are actual ways to connect with these things and these messages. And I really hope this makes sense. And let me also say, working with a medium, working with astrologers, working with a guru, reading books is all fucking awesome, by the way. They're all ways to help support you. But the message is not to look for the smoking gun. At the end of the day, it's going to be you. Over and over and over again. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. Just take a few minutes every day to reground yourself and see what happens in your life. Watch it. It's amazing. I'm going to pull 3 cards now. Can you hear them? There we go. All right. So let me just take a minute to shuffle. Let's do 3 cards, see what the messages are for this week. If you are listening to this podcast at a later date, here we go for another cliche, but there's a reason why you push play on this podcast. This is a message for you as well. Interesting. This is a really different reading. All right. Let me just put them in order. Bear with me. All right, here we go. So I pulled from, is that the same deck? I pulled from 3 decks. I pulled four cards, excuse me. Do I sound sick? I have horrible allergies. Do I sound like Fran Drescher? Remember her from The Nanny? Fran Drescher, or do I sound like Janice from Friends? Oh my God, Chandler. Okay, so the first card that I pulled is a card of vulnerability. And the card is a beautiful picture of a meadow, ding, ding, right? Going outside and letting yourself be open and receptive to true, gentle, calming energy, true vibration coming from the earth. Man, walking outside is so healing. It is about opening up your heart to your true feelings, thoughts, and desires. It's about regrounding your energy back into the body temple, as we've been talking about, bringing your soul back to the earth so that you can feel your feelings, you can reground yourself, and you can connect with nature, being vulnerable and not being afraid of who you are. The second card I got, how cool is this, is shifting your perception. Everything we've been talking about, shifting your perception. Shifting your reality. Do I focus on chaos or do I focus on truth? Do I focus on regrounding myself? Where should I shift? In order to know where to shift, you have to quiet, be vulnerable, connect with yourself. Then I can shift my perception. I can allow space in to see where I'm going in a calm way. The next card that everyone got was a card of fog. Things are veiled, right? things can get very veiled, which is in keeping with this message today on the podcast. We're looking to see through the veil. We do that by calming ourselves down and regrouping with ourselves because we know the true magic is within us. Our true connection to God is within us. So we see through the veil by seeking tools to calm ourselves down and counterbalance the chaos. The next card and the last card I pulled is a card of chess, strategizing. Where do I want things to go? How do I want things to look? What are my dreams? Dreams are only dreams unless you really walk towards them, unless you move towards them with specific steps. Ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want? And if it's veiled and you don't know, go back to regrounding, and that will assist you in shifting your perception. And that's the reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you guys so much. Please share this podcast so I can keep doing them. I know this podcast is serving a lot of you, and I want to be able to keep doing them. It's a tremendous amount of time and thought and energy to do the podcast, which is my joy, which is my pleasure. And in order for me to keep doing it, people have to keep listening. So share it. Please leave me a comment. Go to Apple Podcasts, rate this podcast, comment on this podcast. Follow me on Instagram at Spiritual Medium Erica. I'm developing a YouTube channel. I'm going to tell you guys all about it. I'm developing a new workshop, how to tune into your intuition. So this is a great precursor to that. I love you all so much. Keep in touch with me. You can always book a reading with me at info@ericagabriel.com. Thinking of you, love you, God bless you. And if you take nothing away from this, take with you that you are not alone.